Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And as you can see, there's a little more oomph in my voice because we have a premiere today. And I'm super excited about this one. Here making her Pulse premiere is Desiree Perez. Desiree, welcome to the Pulse.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're making me nervous now.
Why? Is
You're
it my
nervous,
energy?
but yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're way too excited to have. It's just.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
We have a superstar on the show. Let's get this straight
we
here.
don't.
Come on now. I mean, and I'm sure the folks at home are wondering, who's this Desiree? So Desiree, I think that before we get into that, I think you need to tell the Pulse audience, your background a little bit in media and how you got to where you're at.
Yeah, sure. So, I moved to the U.S. when I was about 9 years old. I lived in Venezuela. That's where I grew up. And I moved here back in 1998. And so went to school here. I mean, my whole life, right? But I moved to New York City and lived in Queens my whole life. Wow. So I know you're a Mets fan, right?
Well, they know
Mets
what I
fan.
do for my my day job. So yes, I am a Mets fan.
You have to be a Mets fan.
Exactly.
So I grew up being a Mets fan.
Exactly.
I lived in Queens my whole life, then moved to Long Island, moved to Connecticut, then Jersey City, and so I travel quite a bit now. But I went to school for journalism.
Where'd you go?
St. John's University.
Oh, Queens,
Mm-hmm.
Queens through and through.
Jamaica, Queens, yeah, the whole thing, yeah.
Go Red Storm, right?
Yeah, oh my gosh. It's been so long. It's like ages at this point. And so I've been working in media for about 5 years now for Telemundo. Wow. And so this is what I've been doing for a long time. And my whole life I was involved in media and like arts and all that stuff. So that's what I grew up doing. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So folks at home, there you go. I made her introduce herself, but she is a Telemundo talent, not to be confused with just a Pulse Peter B with talent, which is me, you know what I mean? And now you know why I'm so nervous and talking more with my hands and being more Italian than I normally am. But that's right. I think it's important because you're also a local person. You like you said, you grew up in Queens, but now you have moved to the Hudson County area, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I live in the Heights. That's where I am. It's home. There's a lot of, I'm Hispanic, so there's a lot of, Latinos in the area. And so, but I've obviously have gotten to know a lot of the area, like Hoboken, which is such a lovely area, and there's so many amazing places like this one where you can eat and have fun with your friends and a family. And so, yeah, I love Jersey City. And funny enough, when I lived in New York, when you live in New York City, you don't go anywhere else.
Right.
And now that I live here,
People don't go anywhere else.
No, I don't want to go anywhere else. But also, people don't come. They don't come to visit.
Right. If they feel like Jersey's like 3 states away.
Right. Yeah. Nobody wants to come here. But I absolutely love it. It's less hectic. It's more tranquil, I guess you could say.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of good vibes going on where you can go have fun and enjoy and have a night out on the town kind of. But it's not as hectic as the city, and I really love that about New Jersey, especially Jersey City, Hoboken area. I fell in love with it being here. I got here maybe 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago.
God bless. God. Now, talk to me a little bit about your role at Telemundo. I think that's very important. Of course, for the folks at home who don't know, and I don't know if you're living under a rock or anything, Telemundo is the highest rated Hispanic Spanish television network. They are owned by NBC Universal, who's the parent company of my full-time job. And that's how kind of Desiree and I kind of met throughout this whole process. So what do you do at Telemundo, and maybe some of your assignments in the recent
funny
past?
enough, I have been working with food in Telemundo. Yeah, so I've been on the morning show doing a food segment. And so what we do generally is go into the restaurant, have a little backstory with the chef usually.
Wow.
And so we get together in the kitchen and we cook and, or I pretend that I cook. I don't really cook, But
come on, from Venezuela doesn't cook?
No, I mean, I do cook. I know how to cook. I'm kind of lazy now when it comes to cooking, to be honest. But because it's so easy to pick up your phone and be like, hey, can you deliver? You know what I mean? So,
You're telling me. I don't even think I know how to turn on my oven at home. I mean, goodness.
God, Peter.
No.
I started doing food segments and representing a very famous food brand for Telemundo. And so we get to eat a lot of really good food and just enjoy. But, by the time we eat, it's a little bit cold.
Right, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, nonetheless, it's an amazing job because I absolutely love what I do. Right. And I get to go and meet so many people and meet some of their stories. And it's just amazing some of the things that you get to see, and people who come from other countries and come here and they work so hard and they build a menu for a restaurant, you know, and they start with them and kind of have a whole journey with them. And so it's really fun to do that and, you know, eat good food, of course.
Exactly. Well, unbelievable. And you're kind of like a Miss International, as we like to say in the, you know, Italian-American language. I mean, when I Zoomed with Desiree, what was that, like 2-3 weeks ago? She was actually over in Dubai. And it was like 11 o'clock in the morning on a Monday here. And she's like, yeah, it's 7 o'clock at night. And I'm like, well, we could have did this earlier.
It's 8 hours ahead.
8 hours ahead. So you do travel back and forth from Dubai to the States?
Yeah, I just got here on Sunday.
Oh my God, are you used to the time? Because it's like 3 in the morning.
It feels really late for me right now. I think it's like past midnight or something.
Right, absolutely.
So it's really late in my, you know, in my brain. But yeah, I get to travel quite a bit, and so I've been back and forth to Dubai. And because I'm a freelancer for Telemundo, it's easier to, you know, when you have that kind of job. And so when they call me up, I'm available. Sure, I'll go and do what I need to do. So
exactly.
Have you been to Dubai?
I've been to Dubai once. Okay. That's a long flight.
Oh, gosh.
It was about 13 and a half hours.
It was 16 hours.
16 hours.
Straight, yeah.
I mean, what's great about flying Emirates, even if you're in coach, because I can't afford first class, you know, I mean, it's like a first class. It's very nice. Mm-hmm. I mean, they fed you. The only thing is, like, I was like hallucinating after a while. After like 10 hours, I'm like, am I still on the plane here?
I know. No, you have to like get up and just walk around and stand, and like I've seen people do yoga poses. It's not funny. They stand by the like when you fly for these really, really long flights, the planes maybe tend to be a little bit bigger than usual. And so there's more space like by the bathroom area. And I've literally seen people just doing yoga poses because they want to stretch themselves out. Funny. But it's quite funny. I don't do that, but, you know.
Well, listen, I mean, now there's always never too late to start. But anyway, so Desiree, you know, I have an announcement to make here on the Pulse of Peter B, right? So, you know, I reached out to Desiree. As we said, we had some contacts in my full-time job and at her freelance job over at Telemundo. And Desiree's actually going to become a pulser going forward whenever she's not in Dubai, because we don't have the budget to go over there. We're working on that. If our chief purchasing officer, Josh Sotomayor Einstein, actually does his job, we can. Exactly. Tell him. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so Desiree is going to be filling in for me for several of the segments as the host, mainly with our foodies, which of course is Krista, Daria, Jenna, and Megan, because she does have this food background. And I just want to tell you, I am ecstatic that I don't have to do this anymore. No, I'm kidding. That you have decided that you are going to join us, and you know, welcome aboard. That's what I can say.
Surprise everybody. I'm so excited. I love, like I said, I love doing this, and I absolutely love that we get to play with food and in that weird way. It's such a, I find it really exciting to be able to like tell somebody what something tastes like, or if it melts in your mouth, or if it's you know, just a place that you have to go and try. So I really love what I do. And so I'm really excited to come and be a pulser. Is that what you call it?
Pulser. Look, she did it like the Italian way, too. I mean, exactly. I absolutely love it. Yeah. All right. Well, and we're probably going to throw you to the wolves very quickly. Okay, so, sure. You know, you're going to want to tune in next week with Krista Stucchio of #FoodPick. She's been our longest Places Insider /foodie on the show. Amazing. And we're going to be right here to try some of the dishes at Il Tavolo di Palmisano with Desiree at the helm. So you're not going to want to miss it.
Are we trying stuff today?
We will. I'm going to have to make you wait till next week. Is that okay?
All right. Yeah. No, that's fine.
Is that sure?
No,
you know,
I'm hungry, but that's okay. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We'll wait. All right. We'll batch up something. They're awesome here. Exactly. Robert's the best. Well, Desiree, thank you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you on the future show.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great time.
Absolutely. All right, folks. We will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B. and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Hi, everybody. Frank Rosner here for The Pulse, guest hosting for Peter Biancamano with my guest, as usual, Joshua Sotomayor Einstein. Josh, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm good. I think the only thing that can make me miss Biancamano is yourself right there. So,
there you go. It's been a while. It's good to be back. Lots of stuff going on. You want to start it off and kick it up?
Well, so I mean, in town we have the anti-flooding measures that don't stop any flooding whatsoever. The water barriers that don't stop water, that just come down on a couple of streets that flood to tell people that it's flooded. And I don't know about you, but people can use their eyes and they can make up their own minds. It seems like it's a wasteful spending that probably costs millions of the taxpayer dollars.
Well, this could be one of those times in the millennial of ages that I actually agree with you. In fact, where I live or near where I live, there's a gate that they put up with a big, big yellow sign that says, "Watch for water." Really? Who came up with that? They actually made that sign. And then there's a gate that comes down to prevent you from going down that street because it's flooded. Now, I don't know about you, but, unless I have a monster truck, I'm not going down that road.
But it should be people's choice whether or not to. And I think this, like a lot of things out of the Ball administration, is just another one of his attempts to show, look, I'm doing something.
Well,
even if it's not actually, even if what he's spending money on isn't actually doing anything, he wants to say, hey, I'm doing something.
Well, perhaps, but these gates are really, really unnecessary. And, by the way, they didn't work this last rainstorm that we had, which really wasn't a lot. It was steady. That's why the streets got flooded. But the gates indicating that they should not go down that lane did not work.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about things that don't work. When we talk about Mayor Bala's safety plan for the city, it's kind of, I think, ironic that he's celebrating National Bicycle Month when anyone that lives on the avenue or walks around anywhere in town sees bicyclists salmoning, going against the traffic, going in and out, ducking in and out of sidewalks and the street. And I know that recently in an article, the administration was touting enforcement, but you just have to have eyes to be open to see that bicyclists go through red lights all the time, and there's zero enforcement.
Well, I have a tendency to agree with you. However, the person that is driving the vehicle should always be careful and look around, go slow. 20 is plenty, is what they say. And I myself, I stop and slow down. Obviously, I stop at every stop sign, but I do slow down at every corner just to make sure I look right, I look left, I look for pedestrians, I look for kids, I look for baby strollers, and I look for bikes.
So basically,
especially
you creep
bikes.
out the neighborhood. They're like, who's that creepy guy looking every which way at everybody?
I have to, because I don't want to hit anybody, because the onus, unfortunately, is on us. You've got people crossing the street looking at their phone, never looking right or left to see if there's a car coming, or for that matter, a bike coming that goes right through the stop sign. That's a problem, and I don't know how to mitigate that, but somebody should come up with a problem. The administration should try harder.
Well, listen, we can't make any laws that force people not to look at their phone. I mean, I think if you're not paying attention when you're crossing the street, you're a schmuck. But at the end of the day, what we can do is actually ticket people that are going from the sidewalk to the street on their bicycles, on their motorized vehicles. We can ticket them, we can pull them over, we can pursue them for rolling through stop signs, whether it's on a bicycle, a motorized bicycle, or an automobile. And the fact is that this administration doesn't want the negative backlash that would come with that, because they can't handle any criticism, and so they don't actually do that. And our town is less safe for it. I know people that have been hit by bicyclists that are riding on the sidewalk, and it doesn't get reported because it doesn't rise to the level that they need to go to the hospital.
Well, look,
but if it's a couple of bruises, there's still no excuse.
I got to stop you. I don't agree with that, because they can come up with a consensus. If people come together, we can come up with a resolution. We can get this fixed, not because we can get this fixed, but because we have to get it fixed. It's only a square mile, and it's got to be done. Hold on, folks. We're going to take a little break. Josh, if you hang in there with me for a minute, we're going to be right back.
Welcome to Hudson River Care and Counseling. Hello, I'm Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, the CEO and founder of Hudson River Care and Counseling, with over 30 years of clinical social work experience in therapy. We are a progressive counseling and coaching practice with a diverse team that brings a holistic approach to clients. We offer support both in person and through digital platforms such as telehealth. Consider us a safe haven that you can trust with care for your mental health needs. Visit our website to set up a consultation today.
Welcome back, everyone. Frank Rosner here, hosting for Peter Biancamano on The Pulse. And my guest, Joshua Sotomayor Einstein. Josh, what else you got that you want to kick up and talk about?
Well, other than the fact that Biancamano's last name is kind of hard to pronounce, so I think our viewers out there in TV land on the internets will forgive you, even if I won't.
Biancamano, how's that?
Well, the best mispronunciation I ever heard was from somebody that said Biancanano.
Biancanano,
that's just
wow.
Awesome.
There you go.
But anyway,
that's interesting.
Enough about flating his ego. I think is what really interesting happened recently is that First Ward Councilman DeFusco announced that he will not be seeking re-election. What are your thoughts?
That is correct. I'm actually quite surprised, but his reasoning, if you recall, if you read the article perhaps, he doesn't have enough time to devote to maintaining or going for a re-election if he wins to be the First Ward council person.
Well,
so
the question is, does this mean that Paul Presenzano, who announced some time ago, does this mean that it's his seat to lose, or will Bala put up a candidate in the First Ward to take on Presenzano, who has a sizable war chest and has had time to campaign?
If things are as they are, I'm sure Mayor Bala will put somebody up on a ticket that is more amenable to their agenda, perhaps. But Paul's a great candidate. He was a great candidate before. I think he'll be a great candidate now. And who's ever up against him, by the administration or not, and some other independents that may come in, well, look, you never know. I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. I think it's going to be a great thing for Hoboken. Somebody's going to win that's actually going to be real great, take on the administration if they have to, if that person doesn't win that mayor puts up. And we'll see what happens. But I'm kind of sorry to see Mike go. In the beginning, he was really, he wasn't a bad council person. But, if you can't afford the time to put in, then, that's a good way to go out if that's what you're going to do.
I mean, listen, I like making fun of DeFusco for his frequent trips to Croatia as much as the next guy. But the truth
I didn't want to bring up Croatia.
The truth of the matter is that he was a victim of the relentless attacks of the Bala administration from the very get-go. And we had a negligent media that portrayed the racist flyer that portrayed him as a potential perpetrator of it, when clearly it was targeting him. So, let it never be said that, I don't call it like I see it.
I got to stop you. I recall that, but there's no evidence of that. So I just
hold on a second. If you actually listen, what I said is that DeFusco was the victim of the flyer. Okay, so I know listening is hard for you to do sometimes.
Well, it was after you got the victim.
Listen to the words that I said that he was the victim of the flyer. It was targeting him. It was meant to make him look bad. And I don't think that he's anything for the worse for it. I mean, I think he has a lot of accomplishments under his belt that he should be proud of, and that's that.
Well, all right, I could understand that. During your speech there, as I was listening at the time, I almost wanted to yell out and say, "Mr. Chairman, I give up my time." However, we're getting close to the end here. And is there any one topic that really irks you lately? We've got like 50 seconds to go. Just pop it out there for me, will you?
Listen, I've been bringing up a lot of topics in town. Why don't you take one?
Well, you know what? I mean, paramount in my mind, and, about Bike Day, National Bike Day, which you brought it up before, it really, something has to be done. I mean, in fact, I take my car to work, and I have to take my car to work. And every time I come home with the access and egress on Observer Highway, it's horrible. And I never see any bikes in the lane. Come on, people, if you're going to use the lane, use the lane.
Well, listen, it's absolutely ridiculous. Listen, I'm a pedestrian. I don't own a car, never own a car. I'm also not very balanced, so I ain't bicycling anywhere. So I literally have no, pony in this race, which is another type of transportation.
Wait a minute, I got more balance than you.
The reality is that most people in town walk across town, and also the reality is most people in town need a car to commute to work, or for their elderly family members, or for their young kids. And for this administration to constantly prioritize the needs of a special interest group above the needs of the many is inexcusable and immoral.
Well, we're going to leave it at that, folks. We've run out of time. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you to Josh for coming on. And thank you for Pete for letting me host. And we'll see you next time on The Pulse.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Fios Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse of Peter B. Peter Biancamano, back in the host chair and still here at the beautiful Il Tavolo di Palmazzano, located at 700 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey, located in Hudson County, New Jersey. And the man to my right knows all about Hudson County, and that is Hudson County Executive Candidate Craig Guy, my good friend. Thanks for coming on the show, Craig.
Thanks for having me. Good to be in Hoboken.
Exactly. It's so great to have you. So, Craig, you've really spent your life in public service. And I was just wondering if you want to just tell the audience, how you began your career and what you're doing now and why you're running for county executive.
Sure, be happy to. I started my life in public service at a real young age. I went on the Jersey City Police Department when I was 21. I turned 22 when I was in the police academy. Served 26 years in the police department. Rose to the rank of lieutenant. And it was a great experience for me. I was very much into my community. I was an executive officer for the second busiest police precinct in the state, and it was a great experience. It was a tough job, but I got to meet a lot of nice people from the community. Fast forward some years, I go to work for Tom DeGise.
That's right.
As a deputy chief of staff, and for 9 years, and then upon the passing of our good friend Bill Gorhan, Jersey City councilman and icon in Jersey City politics, took Bill's place as chief of staff, and here I sit as we speak today.
Exactly. And rest in peace, Bill. Just an absolute icon in Jersey City and all of Hudson County. And we do need to mention, we mentioned this last week with his daughter, a big congratulations to current county executive Tom DeGise on his retirement.
Correct.
I mean, there's nobody that was his right-hand man more than the gentleman to my right, pun intended. So, Craig, talk to me. As a chief of staff, what do you do for the county executive? What is your day-to-day obligations?
First, my day-to-day changes every day, Peter. This is why I love the job. Every day I come in, there's something different. I handle budget questions. I work with our business administrator on a $600 million budget that has to be very delicate. We have to work with our commissioner board to make sure that we spend in a frugal but fair way amongst all our towns. Then I can go to the new projects. Some of the new projects. I have a real big part have had a real big part in some of these great projects that Tom has launched during his tenure. We go from our beautiful golf course in Jersey City, Skyway Golf Course. 2015. Nobody believed that we could actually get that off the ground. And here we are, and it's rated. Last year, it was rated in the top 3 9-hole golf courses in the country.
Wow! So
we're real proud of that. Then we could fast forward to our new high school, college. We have a lot of good things going.
It's unbelievable. And we do have to go to a quick commercial break, but I just want to say experience matters, folks. I mean, Craig has been in local civic government for a number of years now, and that's what matters. I mean, you get people who, think that they can cause a solution who don't know the ins and outs of what the county actually does. And, I'm just very, very proud because I've known you for a number of years right now. And, that you're going from behind the scenes to the man that's, on the in front of the podium or behind the podium. It's totally different. Right. Exactly. Right. All right, we do have to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, please. We have to pay the bills somehow here, Craig.
There you go.
All right, folks, when we come back, more with Hudson County Executive Candidate, Mr. Craig Guy. You're not going to want to miss it. We will be right back. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. And still here with Hudson County Executive Candidate, Mr. Craig Guy. Craig, did you miss me during the commercial?
I can't wait to see you again.
Oh, look at that. Well, you're invited at any time. Let me tell you that much. Craig, you were discussing before the commercial break how what basically a chief of staff does for the county executive. I was just wondering, I think there's some confusion among the audience of what type of things that the county government actually does. So I was wondering if you can give concrete examples of what the county government provides to cities like Hoboken, Jersey City, et cetera.
Sure, I'd be happy to. You know, I said it in the last segment, you know, Hudson County has a $600 million budget. Part of that budget is our county parks. And in Hoboken, you know, we have Columbus Park. Chairman of the Commissioner Board, Chairman Romano, Stick Romano, is very diligent.
He's a good friend of the show. He's been on plenty of times. Absolutely.
Okay. Our county parks, you know, we are very proud of all our parks that we have in Hudson County. We also have a number. We probably have the most county roads in Hoboken than we have around the whole county. So Hudson County is charged with maintaining those roads, repaving, any safety conditions. We also have, in addition to those road projects, this new Vision Zero program that I'm real happy to announce that we'll be forming a task force in a couple of weeks. We will be making our county roads safer for pedestrians, for cyclists, and for motor vehicles.
Wow, unbelievable. All right, so now the election is Tuesday, June the 6th, folks. You're definitely going to want to go out and vote. As Craig can tell you, unfortunately, a lot of times in these primary elections, there's a very, very low voter turnout. And that's always a shame, in my opinion.
Yes.
But, you know, we're less than a month away, so you definitely want to make sure you circle that date on your calendar. Craig, if you're lucky enough to be elected, and obviously this will only be the primary, you still have to run for the general election in November. If you're lucky enough to be elected as the Democratic nominee and then obviously the county executive-elect, what are some of your plans?
Yeah, I mean, I have some big plans. You know, we need Hudson County is short, as the whole state and the country, affordable housing. You know, we need to make housing more affordable in Hudson. You know, I'm very proud of the number of the amount of money and the number of units that we, over the last 5 years, we've been able to provide the community, but we need to do better. You know, we need to make Hudson County more affordable, and we need to make it safer, you know, on the roads. We also, our Hudson County Community College, we're real proud of.
Yeah.
We're about to embark on yet another a 5-story tower that's going to be an educational center for our kids. So we have a lot to do. Our parks, you know, we have a new DPW that is in the beginning stage. So we need to do our job to make Hudson County more affordable. That's why it's so important, Peter, that people come out in this primary and vote.
Absolutely.
You know, I have been working with a number of families from the Ukraine that have come over to the U.S. and have settled in Jersey City and Hudson County. They are passionate about their vote. They see the importance of the democratic society. And I hope, and I'm hoping that our residents of Hudson County can take their privilege of voting and get to the voting booth.
Absolutely. And as I said at the end of the last segment, experience matters. I mean, I guess he's your boss, right? Tom DeGeese currently?
Yeah. The boss.
Boss and best friend, I'm sure.
Yes.
I mean, he served, you know, greatly, you know, and proudly for this county for so many years. And who better to take over the mantle, as they say, than the person that was his right-hand man to continue the great work that the county does. And I'm glad that you can explain what the county does, because a lot of people see the improvements and they don't know.
Correct.
So I think it's really, really important. Craig, best of luck June 6th.
I certainly appreciate it.
I hope that you're come back on the show when you're elected, because I'm confident you will be elected.
And I'll be here.
I appreciate it. Really, really appreciate
Thanks,
it, Craig.
Peter.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
All right, folks. Join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.